Okay, today is Thursday, March 24th, 7 p.m. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our Elimination of Prejudice session, online and dating safety as a part of our spring Elimination of Prejudice week. Okay, so we're going to start off, what is stalking and what is cyberstalking? Stalking is defined as a course of conduct directed at a specific person that would cause a reasonable person to feel fear. This is a pattern of behavior. It's made up of individual acts that would seem harmless or non-criminal, but when taken in context, they constitute criminal acts. Serious, often violent, this can escalate. Cyberstalking, however, is misuse of the internet or technology to stalk or harass an individual. This contact can be through email, through social media, or other forms of messaging. Examples of cyberstalking include posting messages about you, sharing your information, or tracking you with the intent to scare or cause harm. And both of these definitions are non-exhaustive. These are some good definitions, but they don't cover absolutely everything that could fall under that umbrella. So, what do you do if you feel like you are being stalked or if you're concerned about yourself or somebody else? If it's through messaging, make it clear that you want to stop contact and then do not respond to any further communication after you've sent that message. If possible, avoid the person of concern. However, this isn't always possible in every situation. Keep an evidence log. This can include screenshots, dates and times, and other relevant information. There are blank sample logs available. One is the Stalking Prevention and Resource Center's Stalking Incident and Behavior Log. That is the screenshot down at the bottom right here. And it has spots where you can record all of the information so that you don't forget and that you have the evidence available to submit to law enforcement or other officials. What do you do next? You can contact your local law enforcement. That's one of the best ways. You can also speak to a trusted friend or family member if you're looking for a confidential resource. Other confidential resources specifically on the University of Cincinnati's campus include counseling and psychological services and Women Helping Women campus advocates. It is also important to note that even if a state law does not have a specific statute related to cyberstalking, repeated contact or harassment through the internet still falls under those traditional stalking laws. So just because there isn't something that specifically covers the internet, any acts that would be considered cyberstalking are still going to be considered illegal under traditional stalking and harassment laws. Okay, moving on to dating safety, because these two kind of go hand in hand. So on your dating profiles, don't share information about your daily routine. This might seem really simple, but is just something to keep an eye out for. So an example would be saying, oh, I go to XYZ gym every Monday morning. Don't say that. Maybe you say, I really like just going to the gym. You don't give a specific location. You don't give a date or a time. Photos. This one kind of trips some people up, but don't include pictures with info about your address, your employment, or other personal identifiers. So specifically, use pictures from trips or landmarks to decrease the amount of personal data. And then don't share your full name, account handles, or your cell phone number on your profile themselves. With linked accounts, avoid linking your social media accounts to your dating profiles. This gives other users increased information that you might not be ready to share with them. And use different photos on your dating or social media profiles. This just prevents people from being able to screenshot it and reverse image search or recognize you from other social media profiles. This kind of keeps them separate. And then keep in mind that even if you are talking to these people for a decent amount of time, they are still strangers until you get to know a relationship, form a relationship in person. Okay, first conversations in dating apps. So never send money, your financial information, social security, or your home address over any dating apps. Stay on the app when you started talking. Versus moving to a different social media. These dating apps are secure. They're built this way for a reason. By staying on the app, you prevent additional information from being shared. If somebody does make you uncomfortable, report and block them. This not only notifies the app itself from somebody who isn't following their policies, but it also prevents them from talking to you in the future. This is also a lot easier if you do that in that initial app that initial means of conversation versus blocking them on now 3 different platforms if you've been sharing different accounts. And then hold off on meeting in person. Lots of apps like Bumble and Tinder have video calling available right in the app. So you don't need to give your cell phone number to call or FaceTime, and you don't need to give out other social medias. You can talk right in the app. It's just a little bit more secure. Okay, when you are ready to meet up in person, meet in and stay in a public place. This one is just a lot easier. If there's other people around, it's a lot less likely that something's going to happen. Tell your friends about your plan and keep them in the loop before and after. If it's going really well and you want to keep it going, let them know. Say, hey, you know what? It's going really well. I think I'm going to stay out for another hour. Keep them in the loop. And send screenshots of your conversations and contact info for the person that you're meeting up with. If anything were to happen or they need to get in contact with law enforcement, we really hope that that would never be the case, but this already gives them kind of a running start. Plan for your own transportation. Specifically with this, if you go out and you're paying for parking, there's a really good excuse. Only pay for 1 hour parking. If it's going really well, then you can go back and add some more. If it's not, you can say, oh, you know what, my parking's up, I'm gonna head out. Planning your own means of transportation also means that you're not relying on whoever you're meeting up with, and it also allows you to go whenever you are ready. Leave if you're uncomfortable, and if you are uncomfortable and you don't feel comfortable going out by yourself, get the help of somebody who works there. Bartenders and waiters, they see this thing a lot more often than we do, so they would be happy to help you out if your situation is taking a turn for the worse. Set and agree upon expectations beforehand. And then along with that, know and set your own personal limits. These don't have to be necessarily sexual things. This could be, you know what, I'm gonna have 2 drinks throughout the night. And that's all I'm gonna have. If somebody's trying to pressure you to have some more and you'd already set your own personal limit, then you don't need to debate right in the moment. And another option going along with that, you can always stay sober. You don't have to go out for alcoholic drinks on the first time that you meet somebody. This allows you to get yourself home as well. And then going along with that, do not accept any drinks that are waiting for you. Make sure that you watch all of your drinks be made yourself. That way you can make sure that nothing is slipped into them. If you're nervous, you can always go with a friend. If you introduce your friend to whoever you're meeting and make it clear that not only someone knows where you are, but they know who you are with, that just adds another layer of security. And then share your location with your trusted individuals. Pretty much everybody has a smartphone nowadays. So you can share your location with somebody, they can keep an eye on you, make sure you're staying where you wanted to go. Okay, some red flags to look for. These are specific signs of abusers. I believe that we got these from the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. Once again, these are not an exhaustive list, but they are some red flags that might be able to be pointed out at the start of a relationship, and you can cut it off before you're in too deep. Signs of abusers can include extreme jealousy, possessiveness, unpredictability, bad temper, cruelty to animals, verbal abuse, antiquated beliefs about roles and relationships, disregard for a partner's unwillingness to have sex, financial control, sabotage of professional or academic performance. And then it's also important to note that consent extends to more than just sex and intimacy. Consent covers an awful lot in relationships. And if you're not okay with something and someone isn't accepting and respectful of those wishes, then they're not somebody that you want to be spending your time with. So, what are resources available on campus to students? So, our first 2 are counseling and psychological services. Everybody knows CAPS. This is an on-campus university department with both in-person and online services, including 24-hour crisis hotline. Additionally, they offer free 30-minute sessions up to 3 a semester, group therapy, and online sessions for students. Women Helping Women Campus Advocates is an on-campus organization founded to support and empower all survivors of sexual violence, dating violence, and stalking. Their services are not limited to just female identifying students. Non-binary and male identifying students are more than welcome to utilize their services. Their 24-hour call text line is 513-431-3807, and then they have an alternate number as well. And their office is in 559 Steger. CAP's office is over in U Square, right above the Target on Catherine Street. And then 2 more resources. UCPD is the fully empowered law enforcement agency on UC's campus. They are certified by the state of Ohio and have full police authority. Just because they are campus police does not mean that they are unable to handle any crimes or investigations that you bring to them. They can be reached at that phone number, 513-556-1111, or at 51 West Quarry Boulevard. And then next is the Title IX Department. Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972 is a federal civil rights law that prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex in the university's programs and activities. Sexual harassment, including sexual violence and retaliation, are forms of discrimination prohibited by Title IX. Title IX office is located in 308 U Square, 225 Calhoun Street, just like CAPS, and they can be contacted at that phone number or that email. Okay, as we did with our educational events in the fall, we have two handouts. They are double-sided. So the first one covers the definitions of cyberstalking and stalking, and then what to do if you're concerned. And then the backside includes information about meeting up with individuals and resources on campus. These flyers were distributed or will be distributed, hopefully, to resident advisors and offices on campus so that every RA on campus will put them in the residence halls, and then different offices on campus like the LGBTQ Center, the Women's Center, and the African American Cultural Resource Center will have these available for students, and the information will be distributed from there out, along with our Instagram and chapter website. Obviously, if you're watching this session is recorded. And if you are interested in learning more from our other previous educational events, those are all posted on our chapter YouTube, Instagram, and website. We've had most recently 2 events on bystander intervention and men and mental health. And previously we've had information on how to be a better ally to the LGBTQ community, the African American community, and the Asian American Pacific Islander community. Here are all of the resources that we used in creating this presentation and those flyers, if you were looking to read some more. And then a little bit about why we do this. The Elimination of Prejudice Foundation creates long-lasting community change by addressing underlying differences between people that prevent progress. By setting the conditions for sensitive societal conversations to take place, the foundation promotes a better understanding among people. So the elimination of prejudice is very important to Pi Lambda Phi fraternity. That is a quote from the EOP Foundation. And it is tasked to each chapter of the fraternity to host educational events on their campuses to address issues that they find prevalent. If you would like to access recordings of resources from this and previous semesters, you can scan the QR code or visit our link tree, which is linktr.ee/PLPOHMU. There's that QR code right there. I want to thank you for listening and have a wonderful day.